Hello everyone, and welcome back to the video. Today's episode, we are finally done with the Create tutorial series because this is all about the latest Create update, Create post-production. And we're no longer limited to the shapeless crafting done in the mixer. Now, we can use a 3x3 crafting grid using the automatic crafter. We've also unlocked new way to send the items using package, so you can now send stuff to your friends that live on the other side of the map, all in one click. And finally, we have shops. This will give you the opportunity to run a business in your Minecraft world. Anyway, enough talking, now let's get right into it. So we're going to start very easily with the item hatch. The first thing you need to know is that the item hatch work kinda the same of a brass funnel. You can right click using items and it will automatically place them inside the inventory behind. However, the big difference between the item hatch and the brass funnel is that if you have your entire inventory filled up with garbage that you don't want, you can simply crouch and right click on it and boom, all cleaned up. Just like the brass funnel, you also have a filter slot placed just below. So if you don't want some of your tools that are placed inside your inventory but outside of your hotbar, you can simply place them inside the filter list and deny. So now, if I clean my inventory, all of my items are still inside. And of course, since the item hatch work on any container, it also work on the item vault. So now that the easy part done, let's get into package. The first thing you need to do is, well, obviously some stuff about the package themselves. So the only way you can make a package is using a packager. Connect it in a way that it's facing any kind of inventory, and a package can contain up to an entire line of item. In this case, 9 stack of redstone dust. Once you send redstone inside the packager, it will activate, and as you can see, it's taking a 9x9, and if I check, I can see that my redstone dust is indeed inside the cardboard package. So this is how you make package. To open them, there is 3 ways. The first one is Control, right click it, and it will automatically open it inside your inventory. The second one is simply by placing it back inside your packager. You can do it manually by directly right clicking it, and it needs to be unported, or else you will instantly make the package again, and you don't want that. And the last way is to place the package in the real world. You can also drop it, it will instantly become an entity. And if I check his health, he has 2 hearts and a half, but he actually gets open instantly in one hit. And most importantly, you can throw package in the air by holding right click, and they don't take full damage. So package don't open because they're hit, package open because they take damage. You can use any kind of damage dealing, destroy, or open the package. And since the cardboard sword deal absolutely no damage, you can use it to launch package up in the air. Last thing you need to know is that package when throw becoming entity, but when they're placed on the depot, they go back into the sort of item form that you can destroy. The last way you can open a package is by using a mechanical saw. This is great for automation since you're not using packager, so it heavily diminishes the cost of having to open package, and every item will nicely wait on the mechanical saw and no package will be processed as long as there's still output that is not out of the system. So that's everything for the package. Now let's get towards the ones that build them, the packager. The packager can be placed on any side of any inventory as long as you place it while looking at the block. It also works if you're looking from the up or down. You can check if it's correctly placed by looking at this text right here. If it's directly connected to your inventory, that means that it will work. So as you already know, to take a package out, use redstone, and to put the package in, you don't use redstone. Now, packagers are great because you can directly send a redstone signal to output some item. But what if you want to make a precise order? Well, we can get a stock link. Now, I'm warning you, if you've never seen the latest create update, your mind is going to be blown by what I'm going to show you. So the stock link, very powerful item, need to first being link. So right here I have another block, the stock ticket, which I'm going to talk right after it, and I need to link it by doing a right click on it. Once it's linked, you will see the blue outline here, and this block is also connected because it's also linked on the same frequency. Now all you have to do is simply place it on the packager. If you did it correctly, you can see that the packager got a green light instead of the red one. If I place an entity or a blaze burner next to the stock ticket, I will get this UI. Now this is where it gets extremely good. Here I have all of my diamond and I can make an order, which means I can click the diamond side and they will appear in the 9 slot cardboard box at the bottom. I can use my mouse scroll wheel to go up or down, and I could also press Ctrl to go faster up or down as well. Once the comment is done, I have to click the send button and it will send a request to the packager to give me 100 diamonds. And this also works if you place different items inside the same inventory. So now I can make a request asking for a different amount of item, and as long as my request don't go above the 9 slot, I can click send and I will get it almost instantly. That's really what's great about Create. Instead of making an inventory system that instantly deposits all of the items you ask inside your inventory, it instead uses a very smart system that makes that you, the player, have to build your own inventory system. So that's everything for the packager for now, because obviously there is more. For the stock ticket on the other end, we've just started. Because if I right click it with my empty hand, I will get this UI. And this is the category system. Because not only Create force you to build your own inventory managing system, but it also allow you to make your own categories. Not inside the settings of your game, but inside the game itself. So the way you're going to do it is using list or attribute filter. So if, for example, I reopen my inventory and I take diamond, gold, and the lapis. If I open my attribute filter and place a diamond, you can get a series or attribute that corresponds to the diamond. So here I'm going to choose the gem category. You now just add the attribute to the list that can be shown right here. And if we make 2 more of them, this one is going to be ingot, and this one is going to be dust. Also, don't forget to place the delete button, because on my side I duplicate the filter, but normally in survival you shouldn't have this problem. And now, if I go inside and place my category, I just have to deposit the filter. So here this is my gem, so I'm just going to name the category gems. Do the same thing for the other 2. And once you get them all, you can also place them up and down. So I want to first get my ingot, then my gems, and finally my dust. If I open back my UI by right-clicking on the villager, it automatically sorts them in categories, which you can also open and close. Now, if this doesn't want to make you play Create, if you never tried the new update, what do you want? Also, it doesn't stop there, because you also have this block, the redstone requester. It kinda works the same as a stock ticket when you're right-clicking on an entity, on a seat or a blaze burner next to it, but instead, is use redstone to automatically send a request. If I right-click it, I can not send, but choose a request I want. If I want to modify it, I just have to add the item and then scroll up or down to choose the amount I want. And at the bottom, I have these 2 buttons, must send all item and allow partial orders. If I click on the first one, and I take all the redstone out, it will send a request anyway and give me the diamond. However, on must send all item, you will refuse to send them since there is no more redstone inside the inventory. So that's something done. We now know how to make package, how to send requests. But what if I want to move them in a more optimized way? And what if I want some of my package to go to one certain place and the other one to go to another? Well, let me present you Joe. This is a frogport, and the way it works is quite impressive. Here I have a chain conveyor that's connected to this other chain conveyor. And together they have a chain that can be used to place package on them. This frog is connected by right-clicking on any part of the chain conveyor. After that, you can place it down, give it a name, and the frog will now be connected to the chain. And this is addresses. Here I have an address for Eoj, which is brother of Joe right here. And this brother also have address that will send to Joe. So in this barrel I got some stuff that I want to send to Eoj, and all I have to do is simply make a package. The frog will automatically check the inventory below, and if the package name doesn't belong to the frog, she will automatically pick it up, sends it on the chain conveyor, and then you didn't saw it, but the package get placed on the chain, and once it arrives to the frog, gets sent back down into the barrel. The frog has an inventory of 20 and can only contain or pick up, because it can actually contain whatever you want, packages. When a package corresponds to the name above, she will try to send it to the inventory below, and the inventory below doesn't have to be a packager. It could be anything. It could be a barrel, it can be a chest. As long as it's an inventory and that there is enough space for the package to go in, it will be placed inside. Now the frogs are extremely powerful, because once the package is placed on the chain conveyor, it's not going to follow the chain, it's going to go where it needs to go. If you don't really understand what I mean, if I take this chain conveyor and add another one, so the next time a package will be placed, you will know exactly what path to take to get to its destination. Just like a mob, it will pathfind through all the chain connection until it can find the frog it belongs to. And if there are multiple frogs, it will just take the nearest one. So if I place package here, for example, they will all go around. But if I add a chain right here, they will take the fastest route. Now you're probably wondering, what was I talking about at the start of this video that the create developer are hiding from you? Well, if I place a new frog, connect it, you can read right here, catch package address 2, leave empty to match an address, or use the little star for wildcard. So what the create developer are telling you is that if you don't give a name to the frog, you will not take any package except, well, if the package also don't have a name. That they don't have the hanging sign or the normal sign placed on the packager, or if you send a request without giving a package address. And the other one, which is the star, simply means that the frog will take absolutely any package that it's given. So here, this package is supposed to go for Eoj, but instead this package is supposed to go for Eoj, but if I place right next it, the frog will take it. And if I place it here, since Eoj is the first frog, it will take the package. But the package sent to Joe will still be taken by the frog, simply because this little star means that the frog will take absolutely every package. Now this is what you already know, because it's simply written right here. But there are actually more symbols and a bit better explanation I can give you to how everything works. So here I have these two frogs, Tom and Mott. You have to barrel just below so you can still see the package inside. If I place redstone inside of this, make a package for Tom, I can also show you that frog will not take any item coming from any other side. No matter what you use, you will never be able to take in or take out any package that's inside the frog. The frog will automatically choose if she wants to give or take package from the inventory below. I'm just going to give it directly. And just took it. So that's done. Now, what if I add a star Tom? Well, it will still take the package. But what if I add a letter behind? The package goes away. That's because the star is not used as a text wildcard, but instead is used as any character as well as any amount of character. Which means that if I just place T and then place a star, the package will still be taken. This also means that since this counts as any possible character, letters, numbers, I can also finish the word and this little star will count as the letter O. So it will still take the package. The next character is the integration point. If I send, well, you can already see that it took the package away, so it doesn't want it. But if I instead place 3 integration point, it will keep it. Because integration point work just the same as a star, but instead of any amount of character, it's 1. And since Tom is a 3-letter long character, this is the letter T, this is the letter O, and this is the letter M. Now I know this gets a bit complicated, but it also gets more complicated, so I hope you understand for now. You can of course combine by simply placing an integration point and a star. So this package will be taken. If I place an M at the end, this package stay inside. And if I place integration point behind, it will throw the package away. This is because the star work as any character, including none, which means that even though Tom is a 3-letter word, any amount of stars will take the package anyway. However, integration point doesn't work as no character, and it will take the package away. So we're done with these two, and the next one is the brackets. If I place the letter A and the letter Z inside, the package will not be taken. However, if I repeat the process 2 more times, whoops, the package will now be taken. This is simply a series of characters from A to Z. So T goes into this one because it's inside the series of character. O also go inside this one, and M also go inside this. So you could use these just like integration point, but it won't work with number. That means that instead of Tom, place Tom 1. Even if I add one more series of character, the frog will not take the package. But if instead I make the series that goes from 0 to 9, any number will count for it. Something important is that it also does not work between low cases and large cases. I don't even know if that's the correct word in English. I'm not going to check. This means that this, for example, if I put the package back inside, and it's now Tom 1, it won't take the package. Now this is extremely useful because if, for example, I have a series of containers that are, for example, named A1, A2, A3, A4, then I go to B, I can have one single frog that take A and simply take any characters that's behind. Then I can use more frogs that are connected to a different system to sort them in the other side, which means star and then the number 1, 2, or 3. And finally, the last character you need to know is the exclamation point. This simply refuse the series of characters you've given. So for example, if I simply take the first letter of his name, reset the package, the frog will not take it. The last thing you can also do in list is instead of taking every single letter between one and the other, you can choose only a few of them, also if they are in this order. For here, I have refused the letter T, O, and C, and instead of using a slash, I've used a comma to separate them. So let's try with the letter A. And since this frog doesn't accept the letter A, but instead refuses this letter, what do you think is going to happen? It will take it. Even though I've never said that I wanted to accept the letter A, simply saying that I've refused these automatically accept everything else. Now, unluckily enough, I cannot refuse name. If I place, for example, back Tom, and I reset the package again, it will refuse it. But even if I write any other letter inside of it, it will still be refused because this is not correct writing. Now, if you didn't understand anything of what I just said, you can always check the Wikipedia page for glob programming. This is literally what's running inside of your computer right now to check files, modify them, or simply see them in your file manager. So yeah, you can use frog to transport package in the most optimal way. But you can also, if you prefer, keep using belts, or if you just want to make a nicer aesthetic, this is always a good choice. However, the frog have the ability to magically attract package to them. On the other end, the belt don't have the same particularity. So instead, you're going to use a brand new filter named the package filter. The way it works is exactly the same as a frog. You just give it a name, and it kept the exact same particularity of the glob programming that I told you right before, which means you can just write the name of the package, for example, red, and it will go true if the package corresponds to the name. And as the other one will simply continue its way forward. So in here I have a package that's supposed to go left, one that's supposed to go to the middle, and one that's supposed to go to the right. I'm also going to add a package with no name inside, so we can see what happened. So here, if you remember, I have one with a normal name, so we know what this one is going to do. The second filter is a little m followed by a star, which means that any word that starts with the letter m will be accepted. In this case, it's the word middle. And the last one is simply taking right and doesn't care about the last character inside. So once I press this lever, you can see all the package going to the right spot. So here's left, middle, right, and none that just get burned up. Now, we are almost to the end of the video. We just have 3 more items to explore, and they're actually the most complex of them all. And that's why I've decided to make an automatic potato cannon crafter, so it's easier to explain. So this is one of the 3 remaining items that I wanted to show, and it's called tablecloth. It comes in every color that's in the base Minecraft: black, white, orange, and yellow. Even more, all you have to do is right click on the blaze burner or the entity controlling the inventory management, and you will get the UI. Now, since there is nothing inside, we won't do much. So instead, we're going to try to launch the automate potato cannon factory. Trademark. So I've decided to use everything that was in my possession in the newest update to build this factory. This is the second item that's left for us to explain, and it's called the factory coach. It's probably the most complex of them all, but once you get the hang of it, you're going to see it's extremely easy. And trust me, I know what I'm talking about. The first thing you need to do to use it is connect it to the network. After that, you can place it anywhere on the floor, a wall, literally any full block. After it's placed down, it will literally tell you what you need to do. So here it's telling me to click with an item to set. So I'm going to choose potato, since we're using a potato cannon. Right click it, and it will now show the amount of potato inside the inventory. If I add one, we get one. But instead of just being a fancy item display, you can right click it and you will get this kinda complex UI. So here we have our potato. We can scroll up and down, and it's telling us the amount of output returning after each successful request. Okay, what does all of this mean? Well, we can recognize here it's a 3x3 crafting table, or in this case, a simple crafting grid. Here I have the ability to add a new connection, and here I have the ability to move this gauge. I can explain this button fairly easy. You can just move it without having to destroy it. Which, when you're cleaning these guys, because as you can see, I really have a lot of them, and I've already simplified a lot the crafting recipe, but it's still taking all the space on the wall. Now the potato was probably the wrong thing to use, so I'm just going to move it here. And instead, I'm going to make an automatic... What about... an automatic iron nugget farm? So for that, we're going to need two gauge. One for the result, and one for the input. Then I'm going to add the item I need and the item that's going to come out. So I want iron nugget and iron ingot. Then, since I'm going to build iron nugget from the iron ingot, I have to click on add new connection, and you always have to start from the end. So here I want to make nugget from ingot, so I'm going to connect nugget to ingot. And you can check the arrow will always be pointing in the direction on which you're crafting. Then I can right click it, and as you can see, it automatically adds ingot and the iron nugget. However, what we're doing right here is just sending the iron ingot and nothing else. So we're going to click on the use mechanical crafting. This button will appear once Create detects that you have every single item that you need for the output connected to the factory gauge. Once you click on it, this will happen. It will say that you're using a mechanical crafter in 3x3, and you will not be able to change the amount of item you want to send and you want to receive. The last thing we need to do is to send the package to the pipe crafter address. Now it's this name because the frog that is connected to the mechanical crafter is named pipe crafter, because it was supposed to be building pipe. So we're actually going to rename it to, well, crafter. Now I can connect this one back to crafter. Now this looks kinda complicated, but all you need to remember is that you're just sending a package with one iron and the information that you're trying to make, iron nuggets, to the crafter. Which means that when the gauge will tell the inventory system, which is simply the entirety network, to make nuggets, it will send the information to the stock link that will automatically make a package using the packager that will be automatically picked up by the storage frog, simply because our package is named crafter. So the package will be automatically put into the frog, which then will place it on the chain. Then it will automatically detect that the frog named crafter is here, so it's going to turn around, go back here, and the package will be sent into the mechanical crafter. And remember, since we've told the gauge that this is a 3x3 craft, the package has the information, which means that as long as your mechanical crafter is a 3x3, it doesn't work if it's more or less, and it needs to be connected from behind using a wrench. The package will automatically be input inside, fill up instantly the entirety of the mechanical crafter, then craft the item and placing back. Then this barrel, which I didn't mean to do that, then this barrel will get the item inside, will be picked up by this packager that's looking below because it's redstone powered, then picked up by this frog because the package inside is named storage and this frog doesn't have a name. So we'll place the package back. It will go back inside of storage, waiting to be processed into andesite alloy. The last thing we need to do is to actually tell the amount of stuff we want from the gauge. Contrary to most storage mods, create always keep a certain amount of item build. It doesn't allow you to instantly build a certain amount of them. So to choose how many we want, we just keep right click, just like when you want to choose the speed of a creative controller. And for example, I want to always have 4 iron nuggets. Now you can see the arrow have become blue, that means that it's at work. It will also blink red sometime, that means that the gauge tried to send a package, but unluckily enough, there is no iron. However, the second I put iron inside the storage, the frog makes a package. The package contains all the information. As you can see, crafter, iron ingots 1. If I place it back, get picked up by the crafter, get craft, and send back to the storage. Then the storage automatically send it back because right here I have another gauge. Now this one is a different use. If you connect the gauge once again to the network, and it needs to be the same, if you place it not on a wall but directly on the packager, it will instead look the amount of item that's inside the inventory that the packager is connected to, which in this case is this deployer. So that means that instead of automatically send crafting recipe, it will automatically send item, not craft them, not send to frog waiting for them to return, but just send the item for itself. So as you can see in the UI, I only have one single slot. I can't do anything more. I can even move the gauge, and I can only choose where I want to send my item. So here I've made a nice mechanism that instead of having to send every single item and then having to sort them into a complex labyrinth of stuff, I just automatically send every single item, the cogwheel, the large cogwheel, and the iron nuggets to their respective deployer. So now you know how the gauge work. What if we send it to work? So here I have another chest. Why? Well, simply because the stock link can work on a different inventory. You don't have to have one single big inventory. You can have as many of them you want connected. So if I got my setup correct, I got the cogwheels to be able to make the precision mechanism, some andesite, some copper, and some gold. Now, if I place it inside the chest, this is a create post-production. Well, it was splendid, but it looked like we have a problem. Why does our pipe are not working? Now, unluckily, you might have the same problem in your world, but don't worry, this is not a bug. If I go right here, and also something you need to know, you can make a promise, which means that after a certain time, if the item that was supposed to be made never came, you simply reset the number of items that are supposed to come. You can also manually reset it by clicking on it. Well, here we have it. I forgot to change the name, and it's still named Pipe Crafter, so I'm just going to rename it Crafter. Now all I have to do is to take back every package and place them back in the storage, as well as reset once again the promise. However, we will have once again an issue. As you can see, the crafter is doing everything wrong. The craft is completely okay, and it says that it will return the supposed item. Well, this is very simple to fix, and that's because I've placed a copper ingot in this chest, but the copper sheets are being sent back in the storage, which means that when I'm trying to make the pipe, there is two package at once that try to go inside the mechanical crafter. Do you start to see where the problem is? This is where our last block come into play. The repackager. Now this block is incredibly useful because it simply allows you to make crafting while having different package coming from different item vault or any kind of inventory. First thing you're going to do is break the packager and instead place any kind of inventory below. Then you're going to place the repackager behind, and you're going to want it to be always poured. Like, always. I don't even see a single way why you want it to not be poured. That's not what you have to do. Is take the package and then place it inside the mechanical crafter using a packager. So here I'm just going to place it below, and I will simply have two hopper going inside of it. So now the way it works is the frog will place a package inside the barrel. Then the repackager will wait to see two crafting recipe in two different packages that go with one another. When it sees it, it will simply grab the two of them and make it one single package. Then all you have to do is to send it back into a packager that goes inside the mechanical crafter. And now this should work. So let's see. So the two packages go in, and once the two are inside, they get repackaged, and they're not being sent in. Yeah, I think the lever is a problem. Let's try again. And now we got our pipe. Now once we get enough pipe, it will be sent right here to a mechanical arm. This is because we can't automate crafting with any recipe that require more than a 3x3. So I've just decided to combine the good old mechanical arm with the brand new frogport. Then if we click on shop, I've once again got a gauge right here that will automatically ask to always have at least one potato cannon, and here we have it. So hey, now we can finally buy the potato cannon. But I'm just going to destroy it to show you how to actually work. So as I said, you need to configure the table clock. So here I want one potato cannon. Click configure, and once you see the table clock is enchanted, place it absolutely anywhere on your board. Once this is done, you have this little virtualized slot on which you need to place item inside. You can only place one, but then you can keep right click to choose the exact price. Once this is done, don't forget to lock your shop so no player will be able to open it and they will have to use the shop. If you want to use it, you only need to have the certain amount of item asked to buy the other item you want, right click to get a shopping list, and then right click using the shopping list on the mob or blaze burner that's used in the inventory, which in this case is a shop. And here you have it. That's kinda sad to have the cannon but not having the potatoes that come with it, so let's just do that. Set it to shop. We wait a little bit. Now we can make a new one. And you can also choose how many items you want to sell in one go. And by the way, you can also sell multiple items at the same time. Now I'm sorry, I've told you it looked like a filter, but luckily enough, you can't use a filter to sell stuff. Anyway, the last thing you need to know is to get back your money, you just have to get to the stock ticket, right click it, and boom. All of those diamonds are now only for you. Now just remember to be careful, because while people won't be able to rob you stuff, since you've locked the network, they're still able to pull up all of the money that you've made from the stock ticket. Or you could just pull it yourself and put it in your own inventory. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope I've helped you, and most importantly, that after watching this, you now want to play Create. See you later. And no, that's not the end of the video. We'll still have one more item to check. The postbox. So the postbox is just like the frogport, but instead of using chain, you're using rails and train. I mean, I think you've all guessed it since I'm on my train word, but let's do it anyway. So to make it work, you first have to link it, just like the frog to the chain, to a train station. For that, the train station needs to be already placed down. Right click it, and the distance to the train station is okay for a postbox. And it's actually pretty big, since you need to understand that postbox teleport package out of in the train. Once you place it, just like the frogport, you can give it a name. And once it's done, we need to build a train. There we go, the ugliest train you've ever seen. So now you're wondering, what is the purpose of the postbox? Because yes, it teleports package in and out, but you could technically just place a package inside the chest and then take all the package using, well, these guys. Well, the reason why is, once again, frogport. Since the frogport plays package and then the package control where you want to go, the create devs decide to let us do the same thing but with train. So the postbox simply give information that there is an item inside of it, and all of this is done using the train schedule. So in my last video in create, which was about train, I've decided to skip the deliver package and retrieve package category. This is simply because, well, I wanted to make it in the video. So in this example, if I have station A and station B, I could totally just keep the train going back and forth, take every stuff inside and dump it on the other side. And I'm not going to show it when there is one station because I'm lazy. But if you have more than 5, 6 or 7 stations, it's going to be quite slow. So instead, what if the train know exactly where you want to go? So all I need to do is to first retrieve package, and I could just do the magical word to retrieve any package from any station, and then I'm just going to deliver it to the correct one. Yes, wait 5 seconds if you want. So now if I give the train schedule, there we go. And I make a package. The second I place this package inside the postbox, the train will instantly take it and automatically go to the correct postbox. Now I'm not going to lie, but I have absolutely no idea if the retrieve package from everything is going to work. But if it does, I don't think train will ever be stoppable. Well, it worked. Look how fast it's going. Okay, yeah, just forget about frogport. Train are definitely better. So yeah, that was my extremely and overly oversimplified example, but it worked. I had absolutely no idea it was going to work, but it did. Yeah, I'm improvising every single of my video. I have no idea what's going to happen next, but it worked almost all the time. And talking about video, this is the end of this one. It's actually going to be the end of the entire Create series of tutorials. I will keep doing Create, obviously. And you know what, since I'm done, you can always ask for help if you have something you're trying to build, if you have some ideas that you don't really know how to make. You can always ask me in the comments, and I really don't have a lot of viewers, so I'm definitely going to read your comment. So if you have any idea in mind, don't hesitate to comment it, I will take a look and see if I can build it. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Once again, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. I see you next time. Goodbye.